Hey everyone, I'd like to share with you a couple of important lessons that I drew from this past week of mentoring business to business tech startup founders. The first is related to product offering and how important it is to come up with that right combination of business model and packaging and pricing in order to create a product offering that's easy for customers to say yes to. And the second is going to be related to how important it is to scale your team accordingly as you grow your business and you develop a broader organization. So the first mentoring session is with a company that has an ad tech solution that helps turn banner ads into interactive video advertisements. And they're a relatively early stage company, and the founders have been working on finding their first customers with this new technology. And we started working together on the launch code, and as part of that process, we arrived to module 2, which is the product offering. And it was interesting that they had been presenting their service as effectively a one-trick pony. You had one specific option you could choose from, and that basically created a pricing structure that was driven by the amount of use that was given to the service by advertisers. And as I started digging into this issue, there were two fundamental problems that I discovered. The first is that there was no recurring revenue element of their business model. So they were pricing their business in a way that was requiring customers to use it and only to pay for what they use. At the same time, they're offering an incredibly useful, well-developed platform that enables these type of interactive video ads to be created. And so, as we got through talking and we applied some of the principles of the launch code to their product offering, I told them, look, you guys need to create a value for the actual platform that you're selling, because that's something that right now your customers are not valuing. They're taking it for granted they can use that for free. So there should be some sort of recurring subscription model for use of the platform, and then a separate element of your pricing model, which is based on the amount of ads they do or the amount of impressions they deliver and so on. So that was the first thing. The second thing is they were only giving their customers one thing to choose from. Now, that certainly simplifies the offer, right? You can say, well, look, this is what I'm selling. Are you interested or not? But that eliminates the option of choice. And there's two different schools of thought here. One is, well, we're not going to push our customers into one specific option. We're going to have a tabula rasa open opportunity, and then we'll tailor all of our offers to the specific needs of our customer. Well, look, that sounds really interesting and really noble, but it's unbelievably difficult to scale because you're effectively having to reinvent the process of product offering on an ongoing basis. The alternative to this, which I strongly believe is the best way to go, is you create some choice. And the best way to do that is to offer 3 different options for customers. One option is, let's say, a entry-level option that gets them to taste the service that you're selling. The second option is something that is certainly a good mix of features and benefits at the right cost. And then there's always a premium option for those customers who are willing to pay extra to get exactly what they need. And by creating these 3 different options, actually what you're doing is you're pushing people towards the middle option, because that's the best balance of features and benefits and value for your customers. So lesson learned is, first of all, don't sell yourself short. Make sure that you're introducing some sort of value for the platform that you're offering, and that you're doing it so that it generates recurring revenues for your business. The second lesson here is that don't, first of all, create this anything goes approach, which I think is a very long-term and extends the long sales cycle significantly. And don't just offer one single option. Offer 3 different options for your service and push your clients or your customers towards the middle option, which should be the ideal mix of value and benefits for your customers. So that was the first interesting mentoring insight that I worked on this past week. The second one is related to scaling your team. So I've got a business-to-business tech founder who's in the AI-driven data space, works specifically helping big warehouses to manage their inventory more effectively. And he's gone through the launch code and has benefited from that, and he's now at a stage of development where he's actually scaling his team. So he's growing from 10 people up to 50 to 60 to 80 people. And he's facing some interesting challenges that are very typical to founders at that stage of development, which is that a lot of the experts that you have that are good at the start of your business oftentimes cannot develop along with the business and can't satisfy the needs of the business. And the way I described it to him is, if you're thinking of your business as an orchestra, you can have people who are really, really great violinists, right? They're fantastic at one specific instrument. But as you scale, you need people who are not just going to be great violinists, but people who are going to be great conductors, right? They can coordinate the actions and the contribution of multiple people that together make beautiful music. And so that faces, that presents a very big challenge for a lot of founders, because unfortunately they sometimes have to accept that certain people that they relied on up to that certain point are no longer fit for purpose in the growth of the business. And so there's really two options to pursue there. First is you basically identify experts, violinists, who are capable of becoming good conductors, so general managers, or you recognize that certain resources are missing from the internal team, and you have to bring managers from the outside. Now that always creates a bit of friction, right? Because there's people that believe they've been there from the start and why they should be positions of management. But the reality is most people recognize when they're not really doing what they're really good at. And so sometimes there's a pressure for people internally to develop into good managers when in fact they don't really want to be good managers. They just want to be really good experts. So lesson learned, recognize that as you scale your business, you are going to have to change the composition of your team to suit the purposes of the business. And you as a founder really have to be aware of that and have to be willing to make some difficult decisions, sometimes difficult personal decisions, about the people that you surround yourself with and the team that you build. But ultimately, by doing so, you will actually be helping yourself, because at the end of the day, your objective as a founder is to build a long-term, scalable, successful business that can operate on a global scale. And to do that, you have to have the right people in the right place. So these are the two important lessons that I learned from this week's mentoring sessions with tech founders. If this is something that struck your interest, I'm very happy. Perhaps you can learn from these lessons. And if it's something that you think you might benefit from working with somebody like me to help you address these challenges, both from a structural sales development level, but also from a management and scaling organization level, then please reach out and let's touch base. Just go to www.thelaunchcode.net and find out how we can collaborate. Thanks for listening.